I thought it was gonna be about a subculture of people who thought they were cats. Hi, and welcome back to 13 Days of Horror. I just finished watching We Are Not Cats. That final shot. Seriously, if you've seen it, you know. If you know, you know. But before we get into it, I did rent this one on YouTube, although it's not available in my country. A lot of you ask, how do I access geo-blocked content? And the answer for you is Surfshark. And lucky for me, Surfshark are sponsoring today's video. Surfshark is a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. Not only do they encrypt all of your information and protect your identity online, they also unlock content on streaming services that you may not be able to access in your country. So say if I wanted to watch a horror film that was only available in America on Netflix, I just flick a switch and it's unlocked. I've been using Surfshark out of my own pocket for the last year and a half. I think it's the easiest VPN to use, and what I love about it is you can use it on multiple devices. So it's on my phone for protection on the go, it's also on my laptop, and it's on my smart TV. Using a VPN has made my life so much easier in terms of unlocking geo-blocked content, and I think Surfshark is so user-friendly. Surfshark has a 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. So if you aren't satisfied, you can cancel within 30 days and get your money back, no questions asked. To unlock content right now, download Surfshark by using my link in the description down below and use my code SPOOKY for 83% off and 3 months extra for free. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. So, We Are Cats. I really liked this film, and you know what it really reminds me of? Swallow. If you've seen Swallow and you haven't seen this, you're in for a treat. So the film only goes for 1 hour and 17 minutes, so it's quite a short run, and it's actually labeled as a comedy romance horror. I don't think it's very comedic, but it's very offbeat. The bio for the film is two strangers spark romance through their unusual habit. It's not what you think. And I really don't want to spoil this too much for you. It's not exactly like Swallow, but it's the same thing in terms of people using certain tools that are seen as negative to control their anxieties and just control their life when they have a lack of control. The film's setup is so interesting. It doesn't force anything down your throat, and it's just such an organic way of showing a character in distress. You learn about the main character Eli through his reactions to what is happening to him, and from the very first moment you realize he is beginning to lose everything, and this spirals to him being homeless. And it's very interesting to see the way they portray this in the film. It makes it seem like it can happen to anyone, in which it can, so I really appreciated the way they walked you through the steps. The film gives you so much anxiety for the guy, and in turn you see his anxieties play out, and I think that it is an interesting and relatable film, believe it or not, even with the title. But then it spirals a little bit out of control, and it doesn't really get into the horror until the very end, and I do think that this is a horror film. I think a lot of people might say it's not because there's only a small part, but this is a body horror film. I can tell you that right now. It's body horror, and it's a little bit gory, and it really translates the anxieties and the lack of control people have over certain situations in their life and how that plays out. But I get the romance angle. Someone comes into his life and they share, as the blurb says, a common tool. And like anyone who has anxiety or anyone who uses certain crutches in their life to deal with certain emotions or situations, it's a cycle, and it's about breaking the cycle. But the film does this all in a really interesting and fun way. One thing I loved about the film, although it's very independent, it looks amazing. It's so beautiful to watch, and it's also aesthetically really pleasing. There's a lot of these shots in this like underground club, and then later in this house where there's like this light machine, and it's just really interesting in all aspects. Not only are you following this guy's journey and down spiral and really learning who he is along the way instead of it being really spelt out to you, which I really liked. You're also getting all these different vibes and just a different side of life from someone who is so down on their luck and trying to scrape by and trying to really pick up anything along the way that can help them. The best way to describe this film is it's very offbeat, but it also made me sick at the same time as curious. It is an interesting relationship you don't see usually in these kind of films. I'm trying not to reveal too much because the reason why it's called We Are Not Cats is actually very clever. And when you figure that out, I just think that's amazing. Overall, I think people who like films like Swallow or Eat, any kind of body horror that has like a meaning, raw, you'll probably really like this film. It's a little bit offbeat. It reminds me a little bit of a Mark Duplass kind of film, but just a little bit more grungy. And I really liked how they wrapped such a almost unreal tale towards the end of it. It just becomes this unreal kind of almost fantasy moment. Just a moment though, a glimpse in this raw and really relatable real life scenario, not just being homeless, but also the anxieties and people dealing with them in their own way. I think it's really relatable in a weird way. I didn't expect this film to be relatable. I thought it was going to be about a subculture of people who thought they were cats. So definitely check this one out. I'm sure I've made you curious. I'm going to give this one a personal score of, I'm like 7.5 for me. So let's say 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I really enjoyed it. For what it was, I thought it did really well. I was really personally attached to the story and yeah, just really intrigued the whole time. Originality, I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's quite an original film. I don't think there's anything that's really like this other than Swallow that, yeah, I don't know, but it's still not the same anyway because Swallow's about like a suburban wife. And for scare, I'm gonna give it a 5 just because of the gore towards the end of the film, but the rest is totally fine. I'm so keen to hear what you guys have to say about this film and what you think about the character of Eli and his journey. But let's head down to the genre map and the bullseye to see where it lands. Okay, we're back at our genre map and I'm very excited because look how full it's getting. But also, I think that this film, We Are Not Cats, belongs in the gore and disturbing. This is because it's a body horror and I think that that's where body horror should be. We should probably put up a post with it. I mean, there is some psychological aspects with the anxiety-inducing behavior, but I'm definitely, let's just put this guy, I want to put him under gore more than disturbing. I know that it really doesn't matter, but I think I'm just going to put him here. And then I'm also going to give it a post-it for body horror. Exciting. It's all coming together. But now we're back at our mark, at our bullseye, and this is based on intent. This film is very interesting in terms of this because it's such an art house independent film that is really offbeat and really isn't set out to impress a wider audience. So for that, I mean, I don't think that this film's for everyone, and I feel like the intent to make I think it's an amazing film, and I've already said that, but I don't think it's for everyone, and I don't think a lot of people will appreciate the message. I could be wrong. So for that, I'm actually going to put it a little bit offside. I'm going to put it over here because although I loved it, I really don't think its intent was that clear. It is filling up in here and we're just over halfway. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another 13 days of horror. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, please give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. As this series goes on, the views definitely drop out. So I'm very aware of that and I'm very appreciative to anyone who has watched them all thus far. I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.